All right, hi everybody. This is now my, well, let's say it's a month old GS 1250 Adventure. I've sold all my other bikes. I've decided now one bike is enough. So having one bike, this would be the ultimate bike to have in my view. Seen as this now would be, let's go through it quickly, a GS 800 Kalahari, 1100 GS, 1150, second 1150 stolen, replaced by a third 1150, 1200 Adventure. Then I rode KTMs for a while. Then I got myself another 1250 GS Sports Edition. And on the side, I've had Triumphs and Kawasaki's and H2s, etc. And now I'm down to one bike. And I believe this is it. So let's go through what I've done to the bike so far. This is a carryover. This is from Touratech. I've gone with the clear Perspex type cover because I think with the metal grill, stones can still go through. And if this does eventually crack or break, we do have a laser cutter, so I could give myself or make myself a replacement. I haven't done that yet, but I suppose it's possible. What I've carried over from the 1250 is Nippy Normans. I bought these just clip on. There's no drilling supply. This is very good. It protects the front of the engine. I've got a similar one at the back here called a mud slinger. Let's see if we can see that. And that protects the rear shock, etc. I've put in this little charging thing. Now the bike's been standing for over a month. I've been at work. I work out of the country, so I haven't had a chance to ride it. So here's all the different chargers I have for the different motorcycles. Now we only got one bike, so we're down to one charger. It's a little pigtail that I put into the battery box. And now I'm going to disconnect it and put it under the seat. So let me just go through. I did speak to you about the cover, the mud flaps over here. I've got, what's that, 40mm, inch and a half, I would imagine, extensions. Been 6'4". Standing up on the bike definitely does help. Got this little cover which I carried over from the previous GS I had. This time now with I've gone and brought the whole box set. I'm not typically one that likes these kind of things. I normally go with soft bags if I travel and just strap them onto the bike. However, selling my bikes gave me a bit of extra cash, and I was able to then add this to the purchase of this bike. What else have I done here? I think that's about it. One of the good things I always do is I'll always put cable ties over these little rubber things because they do perish and crack. So they got some cable ties on. My previous model actually put in a USB charging replacement here, but this bike comes standard, but it's only one, which is good enough. And yeah, that's it. That's all the extras are done, not many. But now I've been a little bit naughty, I would imagine. Something I would never cared of and never bothered to do in the past, because these bikes do sound very good, in my opinion, with the current exhaust system they have. But through impulse, I've been onto the internet, which is a dangerous thing when you're sitting at work, 6,000 kilometers away. Keeping yourself occupied, you'll end up buying things on the internet. Yeah, and here it is. Akrapovic slip-on. Now, I don't know if this is a good thing or replacement or better performance. Would imagine that they say it gives you a little bit more horsepower. Well, I'm going for more the noise. I like the noise engine, and hopefully this gives us a little bit of amplification of that. But anyway, here it is, and I'm going to be replacing the old one. So before I do that, I will have a recording of what it sounds before and after, and the various stages of fitting it, as I don't have tripods for my camera. But in the meantime, I'm going to have to start looking at, I'll just disconnect this, put the pigtail away, and the battery's been on tender. All right, let's get on with it. All right, just to show you, I have disconnected the battery tenor. There's a little cable I put in. Seems to be okay over here. It goes through the, secured with a bit of a clip. On the previous bike had a dongle for the Pro modes, which this bike has now got it built in. And hopefully this thing doesn't get too hot and we're okay. I fitted this before, haven't yet used it, so we'll have to give some feedback on that to ensure that the heat here, where I've tucked it, is fine on the cable. I do have a spare one of those, so if something goes terrible, I'm okay. All right, just remember removing the seat, be very careful of the heater cable. Now that's very nice. Heated seats, now I don't know about all that. I've had heated seats on my GT 1600, but I never used them. But this is all very great. So maybe I'll be happy getting that, because I decided to go with the touring sort of package on this bike, and this bike comes standard with the rally seat. So I had this replaced with these dual seats. Okay, let's have a look at this exhaust now and get this opened. All right, so it looks like it's a brachial cupboard, packet box. No? Do have what is this? Akrapovic manufacturer's warranty. Great stuff. Now I've seen a few videos on the internet, on YouTube, having a look at this, and there's discussions about it being too loud. There's a discussion where a chap says he came from the shop without the baffles in, the DB killers as they're called. There's some more paperwork. And all the extras I'll need to fit it, I would imagine. And itself. Let's take that out first before we drop it on the floor. Right, that would be the heat shield. More stuff up on the side here. Right, one needs here is a camera mount, I would imagine, would be a good idea. Okay, box. All right, back to those DB killers. Actual DB killers were missing completely out of the packaging. However, he does show a rear view of the pipes, which clearly show them installed. So I don't know if he's confused about it being too loud, thinking they're not in, which makes this a little bit of a scary proposition. So I'm not really buying this for the loud noise. I'm buying it to give me a slightly better sound. And hopefully it's not too loud. You know, I'm going to be waking up people unnecessary early hours in the morning. I'm leaving for a ride. Oh, look at that. I do like the color, the titanium. And let's see if I've got my DB killers in. Yep, they're there. You can see the second circle on the inside. So I don't think I've got that problem. Actually, to remove them, you've got to remove the little rivet here, drill it out, around. There's what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 5 rivets to drill out. Take this cover off, and you'll find inside there'll be little hex bolts with a tack weld, I believe, which you just using a spanner, you could probably break the tack and remove them if you want. Well, first of all, we'll see how this thing sounds with them in. I don't really have an intention to remove them. but who knows at this point. All right, so this bike hasn't been started. Let's put the seat back on. This bike hasn't been started in over a month. Okay. There we go. Everything great. I suppose I should actually open the garage door and let some smells out. Smells fumes and things. Right. Let's go to this side and start the bike, and let's have a before and after situation. Starting to get the feeling being bored in front of a computer is not always the best way to go, but it's now purchased and we will fit it. That sounds alright. Well, let's not let the bike get too hot. Gotta get that thing fitted. There's been a lot of bike theft around our area. I've already had a bike stolen a few years ago. One of the 1150s, I may have mentioned it earlier, was stolen right out of the garage, broke the door open, took the bike. So now I try to keep this door closed whenever I'm in the garage, in case guys have a look from the street to see what's parked in the garage. Okay guys, I'm not going to show you the whole process of removing and putting it back. Take the bolt off here, take off the cover. There's a clamp at the bottom there you release and it comes off quite easily. And I'm going to fit the new one. And read the instructions. I'm sure there's an F somewhere there. Okay. Let me fit this thing and I'll have it back when it's fitted on the bike. Alright, well that was a pretty painless exercise. Any tips? I think it's pretty straightforward. Read the manual. However, I did notice, and I wasn't aware of this, on the inside of this washer on this side. Okay, so let's say now, this is on the top here. This is the one you remove off the a replacement comes in the packaging. But there's a washer on this side that goes between this rubber and the actual bike itself. And when I took it out, the washer fell down. It's a very thin washer, quite surprisingly. So it actually fell down and slipped into this side, it actually slipped into the cover. Now I had to remove the cover to get it out again. But yeah, don't lose that because you want to reuse that. Other than that, yeah, pretty straightforward. Nothing complicated. Probably don't even have to read the manual. But there it is. Heat shield on. Pipe on. There's the new cover and bolt. Just make sure you locate the inside locator with the outside. Yeah, I haven't removed the DB killers, which are these ones inside. They can remove out. So say, but it's quite an operation. Got to go get yourself little miniature rivets. Drill it out and do it if you want to. But let's have a see what it sounds like now. Quite exciting. Let's turn the old bike on there. And let's give it its first fire up. The Akrapovic. Are we ready? Here it goes. Not sure about these bikes, but on the KTM, if you do anything with the exhausts, change air filters or step away from what it's tuned in currently, you start the bike. Now this is for the KTM, but I'm going to do the same thing on the BM because I'm not sure there's a similarity. You start the bike, do not touch the throttle. Get the bike up to operating temperature. It's about 15 minutes maximum. And the bike will then tune itself for the new exhaust. Now, that's a KTM thing. I do not know on the BMW. But there's no harm in doing that, just to ensure that the bike is picked up on the exhaust. I'm sure the guys in comment land will have a much, tell me not to worry about it. Everything happens on the fly and the oxygen sensors sort it all out. But as I say, KTM has all that good stuff too, and that's what we do on KTMs. Okay. My thing now is I don't actually think it's probably worth buying this. I think, I hope I like it. It's one of these things I bought impulsively, something I wasn't normally going to do, but as I say, stuck in front of a computer 6,000 kilometers away from where you live, gets one fiddling on the internet. Anyway, I will feed back to you what I think of this exhaust. I'm sure I'm going to like it. It doesn't sound too bad. And all right, next video. Oh yeah, I also fitted these. Put them slightly more forward. As I say, I'm quite a tall fellow, so I wanted knee covered maximum for the knee. I think it takes away a little bit from the colors, but I think it's necessary. All right, I'll give you some feedback on what I think of the exhaust at the later stage. All right then, bye.